Hi guys, how you all doing? I'm back. I'm sorry for my absence. I haven't really been in the best mood with cross stitch. I lost my stitchy bug. That's what I said last time in my videos. And yeah, I had a weird few weeks where I didn't really want to stitch, or I did want to stitch but I didn't know what to stitch, and then goals were kind of overwhelming me a little bit. So I'm back now anyway, and I've got 3 pieces of cross stitch to show you, 1 piece of knitting to show you, and some haul, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, so first, if I talk about, you know, my stitchy bug going away, so it was probably since January, really. I spent the whole of January trying to reach my whip go goals, which I didn't meet. And then February I didn't want to stitch at all. And I've come to the conclusion now that I'm not really going to set myself goals anymore. I might join in things like, I know there's like a monogamous May. Is that a thing? I'll do that anyway. I'll try and stick to one piece in May. But I'm not going to be strict to myself no more, because it really did take away the joy of stitching for me. And since I've got rid of all that, I've just been stitching on whatever I like, and I've been really enjoying it. So for about 2 weeks, I just worked on Toil, which is my Heaven and Earth Designs piece. And I absolutely loved that. And the funny thing is, I'm just using 310 at the moment, and there was no pressure. I was just getting on with that. So one cross stitch I do need to talk about is the dreaded Fireman Sam. So I finally picked up Fireman Sam, and I thought, you know, I'm going to crack on with that. I'm going to try and get as much done as possible because it was nearly Sid's birthday. However, I ran out of one of the threads I needed, and then when I went to replace it, noticed that none of the dye lots matched the thread I'd been using. And because it was such a big block of colour that I was filling in, I had a chunk in the middle. Obviously, if I was to then buy a different dye lot, it would have been so noticeable. So I finally came to the conclusion that I'm just not going to carry on with it. So I've scrapped it entirely. That's something else, you know, the stress of it, it's gone. That's absolutely fine. I feel great about that decision. So if I start off by showing you my knitted piece, so I can't do the Fireman Sam cross stitch now. However, Sydney decided he wanted one of these. This is a very old vintage knitting pattern that I bought at Etsy, and he wants this one right here. And I'm not the fastest knitter, but I've decided I'll do that for him. And I have made a start. Look at all that mess. All the different threads are just everywhere at the moment. Let's unravel that. I want to show you properly because I've started with the front. And as you can see, that is... Oh, come on. Like that is the grey one. So you can see it is the very bottom of his jacket. So that's his buttons. I'm very happy with that start. This colour is a colour that Sydney had picked previously for another jacket that I just didn't get around to finishing. But I know this one will fit him for a little while, so there's no real rush. I don't think he's going to grow out of Fireman Sam. He did want Station Officer Steel initially, so I might do that one after. But yeah, so that's my one knitting project, my replacement Fireman Sam project. So I'm pretty happy about that project. And I didn't spend a penny on the wool because I went round my mum's house and I pillaged so many colours of wool. I think there was about 13 different colours or something in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I can count about 10. So maybe 10 different colours. And my mum's house is literally like a hobby shop sometimes. The amount of wool she has and all the cross stitches she has. If you ever need anything, it's always good to go to her house and see if you need it first, so you can save a bit of money. So money's been really tight this month especially. So it was Sydney's birthday on the 23rd of February. He turned 3. Had an absolutely wicked day. And then it was my birthday on Tuesday, just gone, 7th of March. And yeah, just so, even though I didn't have to spend any money for my birthday, you know, money just disappears. And it was my mum's birthday a week before mine. So I bought her, I don't know what they're called. So DMC have these kits out. And you've got the outline of the woman, and then the dresses all have floral print dresses on them. They're printed fabric, and there's a pack of there's a set of 4. So I bought her 3 of them. I mean, that was like nearly 50 quid or 40 quid. I couldn't really stretch to the 4th one, but I know she'll probably buy that one herself. And yeah, so I know she's enjoying stitching one of those now. So anyway, if I move on to my cross stitches I've been working on, I always struggle to have a picture of this one. So if I can find a picture, this is what I'm doing. I'll put it in now. And it's a Country Companions one, probably from the very early 90s. My mum gave me the really old chart. As you can see, like, it's, I'm trying not to show you the chart too much. And, well, with it folded, the pink is what I'd done previously, I think. I can't remember. I don't know if I've got a picture from last time. If I have one, I'll put it in now. And I just sat here one day and really cracked on with this. And this is what I'm at now. Let me fold it a bit better. So before I'd done the hedgehog's jumper and the hand, and then one day I just sat in and I went and done that bit of the balloon. Because I thought by branching out on the design, you know, it looks like you've got more done. I can just go back on, next time I stitch this, I can go back in and just fill in the balloon, for example. And I'm really enjoying this one. The fabric's not very nice. It's a 14 count Ada, but it's very plasticky, so it's really stiff. And I dyed this previously, so it was just a white Ada. And the blue that I used didn't really stick to it very well. Obviously it does look blue, but I think I used a very dark blue, and that's all that stuck on it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. I did only work on it one day, so I do need to go back to it. Best part about it is this highlighter that I've shown before. You get these in WH Smith. Tink Jumbo scented highlighter. And it smells like tangerines. Just, do you remember those really artificial lip balms and stuff you get in orange flavour? It smells just like that. Something quite nostalgic about it. Yeah. Buy one of these if you mark off paper charts. I love it. So, next project I want to show is my Heaven and Earth, which is Toil by Melanie Dellen. I'll put a picture in now. And I'm not too sure if the picture I have is from when I picked it up the last time, but I'll put in the last picture I have, which is here. And it may not look like it, but I've put thousands of stitches down on this. So I believe, I could be wrong, I believe I was sort of up to about here somewhere, or I had a big chunk to fill in. So I filled all that in. I've come right out to an edge, and now I've started working upwards. So I've done all of this, and then I've put a little box because that's the next box I can fill in. I tend to do the outline of things, so I know all of that is solid, and then I know like the stitches next to this line, there'll be some that are not black, so I know I can just go back in and feel that out, if that makes sense. And I absolutely love this gridded fabric now. The next one I showed you, I've started new, and it's not on gridded, and it's annoying me because I've got too used to the luxury of what is gridded fabric. But I don't know how many stitches but because they're obviously, you know, there's 100 stitches per box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've done over 1,000 stitches. There's no point me sitting there trying. The new cross stitch that I have started, I am keeping track of stitches, so I can show you that. But you just to get a bit of reference how big it's going to be. I mean, this fabric's huge. Very creased, and I believe that, I mean, this is the bottom, so it's that way round. So I believe it goes all the way up to the top with about 2 inches to spare. So a very large piece. But I'm enjoying it, and that's what this hobby is about, isn't it? So that's the thing that matters. So the next piece I'm working on is called Amongst the Koi. Amongst the Koi or Among the Koi. Can't quite remember. But I'll put a picture in it now. And I'm going to struggle to show you. And this fits in with my haul as well. Because it's on my Lowry stand. So I'm not gonna be able to show you properly, but I'll give it a good damn try. So if I try and move the tripod, I've now got a setup, like a proper setup. And I had this scroll frame for a long time. Please ignore the disgusting state of my windows. So if I bring this in closer, that's my progress so far, which is, I think, close to 1,000 stitches. And yeah, so I've had this scroll frame for a long time and I could never get on with it. So what I've done this time is I've stitched the fabric on, because it's not an easy clip, it's a stitch on scroll frame. And I saw online that you can actually do this like ribboning effect so that your fabric's tight as a drum. It has loosened up a bit since I was stitching, so, but it's really easy to just tighten it up again as you go. And do you like my needle minder? See how close I can get this. Stay Wild Moonchild. And this gorgeous fabric is something my mum bought me. It's a 32 count even weave, I believe. It's not dyed, it's printed fabric. And so I decided I wanted a birthday start. I decided I wanted a birthday start, so I chose this Amongst the Koi. It's a chart that I bought in the last Heaven and Earth sale, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I did finally start on my birthday, and I put in about, I think, just shy of 400 stitches, and then disaster hit. I went to put in another stitch, and I realised that I'd gone wrong somewhere, and the amount of stitches I had to pull out would be like practically all of them. So I decided to spend the rest of the evening and the next morning, so yesterday morning, ripping out everything and starting fresh. So while I was ripping them out yesterday morning, I actually made a hole in the fabric, and I was just like, why does bad things always happen to me? But I didn't even repair the fabric. I've stitched over it. It was only a small hole. And I don't know if you can see, especially with this light, but the hole is actually here. So my boyfriend obviously doesn't know what to look for. He's not a stitcher and he can't tell. So I decided that was good enough for me, and I've carried on. I'm still getting used to the setup of using a Lowry stand. If I move this back again. So I sit here and I bring this forward, and yeah, it's all just new to me. I don't know whether I should have it lower, so like, it's very like jumpy like that. I don't know whether it's because I need to put more weight on the base. It is under the leg of my sofa though, so you'd think it'd be more secure. Or it might just be the fact that I've got such a large frame on, because you can buy a large frame adapter. I'm not too sure. But I do love how you can swing it out and about. It's very convenient. And I always say to Sydney, are you going to touch Mummy's cross stitch? She's like, no. Like, that's the correct answer. So, yeah, so I started this new, but for the few days before my birthday, so I was prepping, so I hemmed this fabric, because I knew it was what I wanted to use. Like I said, I don't really have money to buy new fabric and all that, so I used from Stash. I stitched it to my frame, I ribboned the tension onto it, and then I decided to kit up for this cross stitch. And I do have a full set, but I decided, because of the disaster with Fireman Sam, any threads that I needed that I'd need like two, well, more than one of, I would buy those brand new from DMC. So I went off to Hobbycraft, and I actually ended up with 2 journeys to Hobbycraft. So the first one I got 6 threads, and I thought it was the 6th thread. No, I didn't. I got 14 threads, and I thought that's all I needed. And then when I was finally kitting up and I was bobbinating, I realised I actually needed, I can't remember, there was a couple more that I needed. So I went back, but luckily I had a £5 voucher. So I bought these 4 threads. Was it 4? I bought 4 more threads on the second journey, and I only paid 20p towards them. But £1.30 for a DMC thread is so expensive. But on my first visit, I decided to buy this little tub. Now, I think this was about £3. And basically, if the cross stitch only needs a little bit of one colour, I'm going to use it out of my master tub, because it doesn't matter if the dye lots change if I run out, because it's only a small amount. If there's like a little bit of orange on one side and then a little bit of orange down here, you're not going to know if the dye lots are out. And then I went through all my CXCs, and all the ones that I hadn't bobbinated yet, I took those. So I had brand new threads for this cross stitch. So not all of these are DMC. Some of them are, so look how pretty they are. I bought new bobbins. So yeah, these ones are the ones that I hadn't opened yet, if that makes sense. So if I had them unopened in my box of in my bag of CXC, I used them to kit up. And then if they were already in use, I will carry on using them. That's absolutely fine, if that makes any sense at all. And then I wrote a list of what's in this box, so when I'm stitching or whatever, I can just have a quick look to see whether they're in the new box. And then obviously when I'm done with these, they'll go into my master box anyway. What happened with the Fireman Sam one was a big eye opener, because I'm terrible. I bought a whole set of DMC, I bought a whole set of, not a whole set of DMC, I bought a whole set of CXC, and I haven't bought any threads since, and I've just kind of been winging it. So I would be heartbroken if I was 75% into a Heaven and Earth, and then all of a sudden the dye lots didn't match up. It's just, so going forward, I think I'm going to use this method. It means that you don't have to buy 80 threads necessarily. You might just have to buy 15, but as long as you can replace them and it's the same dye lot over and over and over again, then you'll be fine. So yeah, I don't have masses more to add, other than I think I'm going to be stitching the koi one for a little while, especially because I'm making the most of, you know, having my Lowry stand now. So yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing. I don't know how regularly I'm going to update either, because I nearly didn't update today, but I do miss you guys, and I just want to give you guys good content, but I don't want to make videos for the sake of it. You know, if I've got something to say, then I should be making a video. And I wanted to show off my Lowry stand, so I don't get nice things. Like, I know I've said about money before, but like, we're a poor family, so to have something this, I don't know, to me it's something quite luxurious. It's a luxury, and I just feel like I've reached Mecca in my cross stitch journey upon receiving it. Who's messaging me? But yeah, I am chuffed to bits. It was the best birthday present ever. Setting it up, I was so excited. I knew it was coming, so for a few days before my birthday, I was just like, ugh, I can't wait to have an actual setup. So what I want now is I want a lamp for downside the sofa here, because I think when I was stitching before at night, I think I was just bringing it closer to my face to see the holes. Whereas obviously I haven't got that as an option. I'm finding myself leaning in. But if I had a lamp to shine down on it, I think I'd be okay. I do have a lamp upstairs in my bedroom that's a floor one, but I think the type of lamp it is, I think it will give me those little white dots in my eyes if I looked at the canvas and it was shining on there. So if you have a good lamp suggestion, it does ideally have to be a floor standing one. Please let me know. Or if you have an idea of one that maybe clamps to your scroll frame, like the scroll frame itself, or to the Lowry stand. But I don't really want to buy the Lowry stand light adapter unless you guys suggest that's good. So yeah, that's me. That's my update. I don't really have anything else to say. So I bid you all to have a good weekend, and as always, drop me a comment. I love hearing from you all. And I'm going to sit here and do some stitching now, and I'm going to probably watch some Netflix. I've just finished Desperate Housewives finally. I cried like a baby when it finished. So I'm now looking for new TV shows also. So if you want to suggest those, please do. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.